Hi, welcome to She Spice. It seems like the pressure between Sug Knight and Diddy is a long way from being done, notwithstanding being in jail. Sug consistently figures out how to work up discussion, particularly with regards to Diddy. His yet again late case recommending Diddy, maybe an old FBI witness, is filling the fire. Individuals are guessing, ridiculously contemplating whether this could be the justification for why specialists haven't taken any definitive activity against Diddy in the most recent episode of Gather Calls. With Sug Knight, which was delivered on Thursday, June 6, the detained ex-death row chief asserted that Diddy has been illuminating on individuals for quite a long time, a commonly known truth in the business as per Suge. He expressed that there are numerous things that individuals have known about, and everybody is judged diversely. He said it shouldn't be uncertain with regards to making the right decision, something positive, or helping the local area. It's guaranteed that it's regularly accepted that Puffy has been an FBI source for quite a while, which is why his circumstance is seen as contrastingly being FBI in the previous perpetually. As they will say, that is the reason it's different when it comes to him young lady who get injured. He further expressed that paying little mind to who gets impacted, there has been a predictable fault on Puffy. Sue proposed that individuals from quite a while ago had connections in the business, everybody in his group, and, surprisingly, those he's dated knew about it. As per him, it's not fitting to move away from it presently, showing up in the recently delivered Tub narrative. TMZ presents the destruction of Diddy. The Death Row Records prime supporter shared his considerations from jail about the Bassett tycoon and his legitimate difficulties. Knight said, "My starting response wasn't what I anticipated. It should be the point at which it came to Puffy. I figured it would be more similar to Gettings coming to him, since everybody knows what's been going on." He proceeded, "Yet, my response was different on the grounds that the primary thing that rung a bell was he has his children, he has his little girls. My underlying response was about the children. I believe it's a miserable day for hip bounce. It's a miserable day for the way of life, since it ponders ineffectively us all. I'm not somebody who celebrates others' defeat. He had it on the off chance had something awful happens to somebody, I won't cheer if I disapprove of Puffy. That is something for himself and me to talk about eye to eye. So for the misfortune on the two sides, for the casualties for him, nothing remains to be commended. Well, this isn't the as it were thing that Suge has discussed." Diddy and Clive Davis, Sug Knight, the famous figure from the hip bounce scene, dropped some stunning in the most recent episode of Gather Call with Suge Knight. He disclosed hazardous mysteries, including, in all honesty, Diddy and Clive Davis. However, prepare yourself, since it gets considerably juicier. As per Knight, their relationship would have been more than just industry partners. Hollywood might have its share of stowed away insider facts and weird embarrassments, yet the music industry frequently gets everyone's attention with its continuous series of stunning contentions. Legend and record maker Clive Davis is ending up trapped in the middle. All things considered, you realize save Puff at the fact that he was tossed out of Uptown Records by Andre Harrell. On one side of the range, many view Clive Davis as a respected and achieved maker, eminent for supporting a different scope of craftsmen and making melodic hits that have made a permanent imprint on the business. His inheritance and practices have hardened his standing as a key figure in molding the music scene. Perhaps reliable with what you're expounding on, you could go from one side of the stage to the next. Anyway, in the shadows, there exists a differentiating discernment. A few voices propose an alternate story, depicting Davis as a man with a more mind-boggling and disputable persona. These pundits name him as one of the main gay guardians of the business, supposedly applying impact through control and a determined disposition. Such cases portray a relentless administrator who employs power in the background, organizing moves that go past the public eye. He wanted her back, yet he really wanted her back, and under his influence in the complex embroidery of the music world. Clive Davis remains both an observed legend and a figure covered in speculative murmurs, encapsulating the duality that frequently portrays the amusement domain. Quite a bit of this intricacy comes from claims that he supposedly coached Diddy, adding layers to his perplexing persona, no doubt since he was defrauded by his tutor, who wanted to control individuals. Diddy is a name that resounds profoundly in the music world, celebrated as a productive record maker and powerful mark proprietor for his engraving. Terrible Kid Records stands as a stalwart that has sustained famous gifts like the infamous Large and Usher My Vocation, like helping them to remember Keha came out with Hard Areas of Strength 4 and The Time, which is all great, you know. However, I'm simply attempting to keep afloat, you know. Yet behind this distinguished veneer lies an inquisitive investigation into the fast climb of his organization. Panther Wright, a remarkable performer, digs into the puzzling influence Diddy holds over the music scene and the significant wealth that has come his way. He's moving around, you know, yet he got that index, he got that list, and he's been bringing in cash off of it and purchasing that monstrous chateau down the road that impelled a 23-year-old rising star to the peak of the music business in an incredibly concise range. The key could be found in his personal association with an unmistakable music figure. Clive Davis, while he has collected a case for his melodic creations, presently winds up at the focal point of discussions encompassing his heartfelt undertakings following 2 relationships and ensuing separations. Clive set out on a journey of self-disclosure, investigating the chance of being drawn to men as well. My second marriage fizzled because I had been 100% hetero up until that point that I opened myself up after the disappointment of my subsequent marriage, having perused something about sexual openness through this time of self-reflection. Clive arrived at the disclosure that his so was not only just an unmistakable takeoff from his convictions during the underlying 5 many years of his life. I would free myself up to the chance of a relationship in light of the individual and not on Jay in his as-of-late distributed book, The Soundtrack of My Life. Davis describes that his underlying experience of participating in AS experience with a man occurred during the Studio 54 in time, a period when he was hitched to his subsequent mate Janet Adelberg on this night. In the wake of assimilating sufficient liquor, I was available to answer his suggestions. I apprehensive totally did a downpour begins no. However, it was fulfilling the experience, provoked a time of soul, looking and self-examination. Following his partition from Adelberg in 1985, Davis went into associations with people of different sexes. From 1990 ahead, he has been associated with 2 persevering connections, both with male complications. You don't need to be just something single or one more, Davis said in a meeting with us. Visit shows have Katie Couric. I freed myself up to the likelihood that I could have a relationship with a man as well as the 2 that I had with a lady in One More Talk with Nightline. Davis griped that Biss is defamed and misjudged for over 50 years. I never had with a male. He said it wasn't quelled. I had excellent associations with ladies. Clive said that he isn't embarrassed about his, so he said, however, I was constantly drawn to ladies. Biss is misconstrued. The aphorism is that you're either straight or gay or lying, yet that is not my experience. To call me anything other than Biss would be mistaken later on. Clive laid out a committed organization with another man, and this bond perseveres to the present day, following long periods of vulnerability. A few sources inside the business have guaranteed that Diddy is clearly the person being referred to, standing firm on the footing of Clive. Critical other hypotheses, with respect to the direction of Diddy's music profession, have persevered after some time, and as of now, it is purportedly uncovered that the 2 common a heartfelt inclusion spreading over 5 years. Clive has straightforwardly recognized his friends' attendance at different social events and their common ventures, yet he has decided not to uncover the singular's personality. In any case, it has become logically obvious by means of certain reports that Diddy is the craftsman most often spotted. Going with Clive at public capabilities, frequently showing up at similar occasions, 4 or long-term timeframe interim, went into a relationship with a man, and I just while not convincingly definitive that apparent receptiveness of both Clive and Diddy about their so joined with their successive appearances together at get-togethers emphatically indicates a significance connect between them. A few reports recommend that the personal compatibility among Diddy and Clive might have been solidly settled. All through the years on second thought, the time span is long in light of the fact that Clive has been working with Diddy since Terrible Kid Records, imagining Diddy for letting that crazy whack ass and homosexual just run slope everything over this goddamn business. It is imperative that Clive has been taken part in a serious relationship with a man during this period while Diddy has experienced claims of keeping his own direction hidden. Taking into account these conditions, the insiders thought of a heartfelt connection between the 2 shows that it is very possible. Besides, Clive has shown straightforwardness with respect to his and. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.